Non-perishable goods. I'm here. She's here. Let's get into it. What are
Oh
we
my
talking about?
goodness. So we've been inside of a movie. We've been inside of a Netflix new I don't know if it'd be a documentary, a fiction, nonfiction. I don't know how they're gonna do this, but are based off of true events. The submersive, the Titan that went down to or Oceangate, the company who had their submersive basically a makeshift submarine went down on an expedition to find the Titanic.
What was the Titanic tour?
Right. So everybody knows. Like I actually have a few revelations with all of this, and I learned a lot. I like when things happen because like the whole world is literally talking about this. I'm not sure why, but like how it caught so many people's attention. Like, why do you think this has caught so many people's attention? Like, I was just wondering that.
Maybe a distraction from other things, but they are making a documentary of it already. They already made it.
Yeah,
I think it's
I'm sure.
going. I think it's going on Hulu or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly,
So it's
it's a
funny you
very
said that.
yeah. No, because it seems like it would be a good movie because I have so many questions, like just about why are people so obsessed with getting down to the Titanic, you know? And
Because what you texted me today, I was kind of about to, what you're going to get into. I was just kind of confused because both stories are getting attention, but I guess if you have TV and cable, you probably won't hear it. But if you have internet news, you would hear both stories. But keep going.
yeah, well, see, and so that's kind of the other part of it too. While all this is going on, because I guess this all started on Sunday, and before that, like I think it was June 15th,
Yeah,
there
last week.
yeah, there was a ship of refugees that were being smuggled from I think it started in Libya and was
Yes,
headed towards Greece.
full of all kinds of people. All
Yeah, like from Syria,
Egyptian,
Egypt.
Syria, Egypt,
Yeah,
African. I think African, Pakistan,
yeah.
uh, Libya. Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
So they all were on a big boat that capsized, which means like it flipped over.
Too much
And
weight.
yeah, way too
There's
much
over
weight.
like 700 people on like a fishing boat, like a big fishing boat, big for like a fishing boat, but too small for 700 people.
Right. So I don't even think it was proper. It was another situation where the it was over capacity, it sounds like.
Well,
But
they were being trafficked, so they were kind of trying
yeah,
to get the money and force more people on, and also for the money.
yeah, because they were saying that it was like $3,000 to $5,000 to get on this boat and or whatever that the equivalent is in whatever currency. But it was, it was some thousands to get free from, all the strife or get whatever's happening in their countries. And so like not I mean it's on social media. It's starting to really come out now, but I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
heard
it
it. I heard about it last week, and it's all. I will say this: it's all over the world news, like the German news, like DW, and PBS is all over PBS. Like when it happened, it was definitely worldwide news, but
yeah, like BBC and
yeah, and it was definitely
Al
consistent.
Jazeera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the last time they broadcasted anything was either today or 3 days ago. I can't remember.
Hmm.
But yeah, keep going.
But no, so it's like it's super sad, It's like you said, it was 700 people on there, and like there all the women and children were like underneath the boat, and all the so like I think they thought that was like a good idea at the time to keep women and children safe or whatever, but the way that like the water just all seeped in and basically a lot of those women and children are dead, like no women and children survived.
They say
Like,
like it was like every man for themselves. That's why I heard the people who got caught were basically the Egyptians who were human trafficking. Then let's call it what it is, and they all survived. So
yeah,
it's like
like, which is
what?
even crazier. It's like all the men survived, no women and children survived,
Well, the men who,
and
especially the men who were part of the trafficking, yeah.
yeah.
So they're going to trial.
So I guess like 78 people are for sure no longer with us, and then there's hundreds. Like they don't even have an official count, so it might be
No.
more than 700 people. So it's pretty terrible, but nobody's talking about it.
Mm,
So I mean, not on the level of this whole like Oceangate expedition that five see five very well-to-do, very credited people. Some were billionaires, investors, people who are like in the Guinness Book of World Records, like had like 3 records, and so it was a lot of adventurers and explorers and researchers who, so they weren't just rich people going to have fun, which a lot of people I feel like think that, because just from like the forums that I was reading comments on,
mm.
which are full of ignorance and people who probably just look at headlines. But I've learned that yes, wealthy people have lots of money, because this was $250,000 to go down to see the Titanic. But um, like it's how can I say this? I mean, it's something that they wanted to do. They wanted to do it. They're explorers. So I don't see there's anything wrong with that. Like, what did you see in your world? Like, you know what I mean? Just from stuff that I saw. Like, what did,
About the Titan.
yeah,
Uh,
like what in your like bubble of information were people like
my
saying, oh, they're
bubble.
brave, they're heroic? No pun. Because they basically were in a little bubble.
Well, weighed a few tons, so that's a big bubble.
Yeah.
Um, it's different. Well, it's not. Well, I have my personal, and then there's Twitter, who are more like a lot of I guess right and liberals are making fun of them because they're like, oh yeah, they paid all this money just to pass away, and then there's a lot of people like talking a lot of poop about it, and then like one of one of them, I guess had a stepson, and he went to a Blink 182 concert.
I saw that goofy.
Yeah, wow. He's like, I'm feeling sad. I should be able to like have fun, and then it's like, nah, bro, like your stepdad is. You don't know if he's dead or not. Like
Right.
you're
But I
supposed
mean,
to be
I
at
saw
home
that.
moping.
Yeah, I saw that, but I mean, people grieve differently. We don't know his
Mm,
relationship. We don't know his relationship with his stepfather,
that's
for one.
true. That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
but
Like,
but he put it on online for everybody to see, so you kind of
he wanted
just
clout. He
yeah.
seemed like a
So it's
clout
like
chaser.
he thought people were gonna be like, yeah, go out there, enjoy yourself. Hope your stepdad's okay. But nah, the people were like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Right. Then he made another video talking mess about Cardi B and saying like, why did she um say, I guess she had said something about him going out partying. He was
Yeah,
just
because he
like,
was like, well, people like you say, I think I deserve going to the show or something. What am I supposed to do? Stay at home? And she was like, yeah, you're supposed to stay at home and grieve and hope I'm okay, not go to some concert that's your favorite band. Like, who cares about that?
right. But he's definitely gonna be in the media. I already know he's gonna have a video tomorrow and it's gonna be insane. Because like to me, I really definitely feel like he's taking his 15 minutes in the limelight, you know?
Yeah, I mean he's like a kid too, so I mean you grieve differently. There's some things I did when I was a kid, and I
It
had
don't
people
make sense. Yeah.
pass away, and I shouldn't have did that. I should have done other more respectable things. So,
Right.
but yeah, my bubble of information was more of that, and just people mentioning who they were,
Mhm.
and all that stuff. But I agree with you. I'm just like, well, they're thrill seekers. They have lots of money. They can do what they want. They're like, they remind me of Laura Croft and Tomb Raider. Like I think she's supposed to be for money, and or she's supposed to go and find these relics and rare items and protect them and or save them from being used and stuff. And with those comes adventure and possibly death. And they signed you see this video of one of the guys signing the paper, reading it out loud and say what it says, and on there it says like death 3 times on the waiver. So I mean, they knew what they were getting into, and this is just part of it. If I go up in space and I already did all the paperwork and I did the training, and my ship blows up and we're floating in space, that's on me because I decided to do that. I decided to go up there. Exploring, when you
There's
explore
risk.
new things and everything, like there's possible threats. There's a lot of threats. We don't know what's down there, or we don't. People can't foresee the future or what's going to happen. So I mean,
And
that's what happens when people go do the Appalachian Mountains. You take the risk. You got a boo boo in the rocks, and you got to pass other people. You might see dead things there. So you might get stuck. You might fall. I mean, it's on
yeah, I
you. It's a risk.
mean, literally anything you do, like that's international or on vacation, like zip lining or, going in the waterfalls or any like
Jumping out of
excursion,
planes, even bungee. Like you signed waivers
you
for,
have to
so
sign waivers.
yeah, so they will be so they'll be exempt from anything happening, like being
Right.
sued by your parents or getting sued by you if you do live and you break a leg or something. Like, bro, you signed a waiver and you wanted to do it. You called us.
Yeah.
We didn't call you to come up here.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like one of the guys, he had been to the Titanic like 37
Yeah,
times.
that's what I think it was like. People were like, "Oh, it's nothing, pay what it's like a regular normal day, normal Titanic tour day."
Yeah, because these people, I mean, they are like one guy, he had a museum of Titanic relics. And then, it was just they're used to this life. This is their life. This is what they do. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Like it wasn't just, like in my bubble of information, people were just like, oh, they're just rich and stupid and why would you sign your life away and da 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 da. And it's like, okay, people, like you've never signed a waiver before to zip line in Mexico or
Or go to Mexico.
yeah, like everybody takes some sort of risks at this point. Like people take risks. And this is their life. Like this is, if we don't have people like them, we wouldn't have planes. We wouldn't know what's under the ocean. We wouldn't know what's in space. We wouldn't have explorers. So I
Yeah.
kind of find like it's brave,
Yeah.
but 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 the problem is the man who what was his name? Who is the CEO of the company? Why did he like? Why did he cut corners? He shouldn't have cut corners
Yeah,
on
but
the
what you
craft
but
itself.
like agreed, but you said too they had 30 times. They've been down there 30 times in the
But not
same craft.
necessarily, no, not on that
No?
same, no, it wasn't on
Okay.
that same vessel. He only took that vessel 3 times to the Titanic. But the other guys on the ship had gone on another expedition or
Oh yeah,
another,
yeah. And they were the ones that complaining like that's Titan wasn't
it
efficient
wasn't,
enough to go down there.
yeah, it
Even
wasn't
though
up
it
to
went down
par.
there 3 other times.
Right, right. But the thing is, like, I was watching a lot of reports on it. I guess with that much pressure under the water, like the way I understand it is like water is heavy. Like think about it. If you fill up a water in a bag, like it's heavy, and you wouldn't think water would be that heavy.
No, I
But
would well I will go keep going. Because it's like layers of water. So it's like once you get through, everything is like a ton, a ton, a ton, and imagine like a ton of that weighing on top, down on you, and then you're in some makeshift, Nintendo
well,
controlled.
it was made out of
You know,
carbon fibers, which isn't like the strongest, or they were saying it's not like the best metal. It's experimental metal. It wasn't the best option. And so basically at the depth that they were at, the water just freaking most likely, because this is the part that it drives me like, I don't know, it gives me like anxiety. it imploded. It didn't explode. There's a difference. I had to look up the definition of implode, and basically the water smashed them
Yeah.
because the metal of the vessel couldn't withstand the pressure of the
Pressure.
water.
Right. And then the I guess one of
Whew.
the holes already caved in.
Yeah,
Water
it
was
just
water was coming
boom.
in from that, and then it just because they found the pieces, they're all gone.
Yeah,
They found
and
they
they
found the debris.
yeah, and they said like it was a quick death. Like
Yeah,
even before
instant. It
they
was
knew,
instant.
yeah, like even before they knew anything that happened,
Yeah,
they were already gone.
yeah,
And just like some of the details that they said, like your body just lungs just all compact.
yeah,
Like and he even showed like what are those, the AirPods case?
hmm
Like they were that freaking
yeah.
small.
It's like those. I don't know if you've seen those like bags. There's like a bag where you put like clothes in, and then you get a
Oh, the
vacuum, and
vacuum
you
bag.
just yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it remind me of.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so it'd be quick. You're not thinking about it. So I mean, to I guess relinquish
Like
any thought of them drowning or anything. At least they had a quick
right.
death, and they went
Because
inside.
that's what everybody's fear was, oh, they have 40 hours left of
Yeah,
oxygen. They have 20 hours left of oxygen. Like the last few days have been pretty intense.
I mean
And
that's why it was so interesting and as opposed to the 300 refugee theme, because it's like we're just waiting on them finding more bodies and the pre-trial and the trial of the what 5 or 7 Egyptian guys. But this was like on a seat, it just happened like a few days ago, and we're at the seat of our pants, like we're hoping that they make it. But then like this morning they were, or today they were just like, we found the
yeah.
pieces, we know that what happened, there's wreckage, they didn't make it. So
And like
now we all know what happened.
yeah, and even the story kind of gave you hope because they were like yesterday, they were like, oh, we hear a sound from the
Yeah.
sonar buoy every 30 minutes. And and it's really interesting how they can determine if it's like a mechanical sound or if it's being created by a human. Like there's just some really smart, intelligent people, some great technology that we have in the world. And I'm just like, I mean, the search and rescue was pretty, and it was like a collaborative effort between countries, and they just made it happen. And I know a lot of people are complaining, saying that like, oh, are we paying for this search and rescue and da 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 da? But I don't think. I think I heard it was like a $6.5 million price tag on the rescue, but the family was just like, we'll pay whatever, find our people.
But if it was like your relative, does it matter? You just want to find them, right? I mean, god dang, man.
But people are making such
Where
they're
is
just
the empathy, bro? Like
there's
regardless of
none. People been
who
making
cares if they're
jokes.
rich? Like who cares? Like these are
No,
people, dude.
no, people I'm finding are really do not like wealthy people, or
I would
they
put this
just
like on everybody. Like if you were one of those negative people, I hope nothing happens to your family. I
yeah.
really hope nothing happens to your family.
No, people were laughing, making memes and making like heck of
Yeah. So
jokes,
dumb.
and
Dumb.
it's just like this
Dumb.
isn't funny. Like this is just kind of shows that like where we are in the world. We're very desensitized. We're just kind of like chattering
Dumb.
about whatever happens in the world. Like it's not a real thing. Like we're just all watching TV or something on social media. But this is like real life. Like people, like more than five families are severely affected this morning or this afternoon.
Just because you don't know them and they're rich and they have more money than you, and you think this is wasting the money. I mean, it's their money. Stop pocket watching. I hope
Right.
nothing happens to your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, just I mean, I believe in karma.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. But I think that's also why um so many people were maybe more paying attention to this, or was getting more attention
Yeah, because
because
it
they
was
had
fresh for a
money.
few days.
Well, yeah, and that they had money to, broadcast all this. Like
I
I
mean,
think
you can't really compare it if the other thing happened last week. I mean, at least for me in my bubble, there was like a lot of talk of that incident, and then it was over. Now we're just waiting for it to find bodies in the pre-trial. Now we have something new to not distract us, but now we have more news. It's like
Right.
whatever was hot, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't think it would
People's
deter
attention
different.
span.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, and then like like I said, like PBS was, telling, or at least for telling me that the Egyptian guys were the traffickers, and now they're going to pretrial. Like, so now we have something new. Now we have
More.
the Titan, and the
Yeah.
Titan went down,
But
and now we have
then,
everybody talking, and now
right,
everybody's like hating or not hating and worry and not So yeah, it's new news.
right. And I feel like a lot of people may not so much care or maybe didn't care about that situation because
I
how
mean,
could I
what do you
just
want them to do? You want them to linger and talk about it
because
for
it was
another week?
because it was morally wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
but how
people, in
many
some people's
incidents?
views,
Yeah,
hold on. Just in some people's views, they feel that like, oh, well, they were smuggling people. They were doing something wrong. So, oh, something bad happened. That's on them, you know? So it's kind of like people have that attitude about what happened to the Titan too, though. Oh, they signed their life away. They knew how dangerous it was. They knew that it was being controlled by a Game Boy controller
yeah.
or PlayStation controller. So that's on
From
them.
Sega to Nintendo to Game Boy to Game Gear to
Right? I have Logic, like a Logic controller. Like,
Xbox. Yeah, Atari joystick. You know what I mean?
like I've heard so many different things, but it was a joystick basically.
No, it was
But
it was like an NES controller. I mean, it looked like one. It wasn't the controller. It just looked like one.
yeah, I mean, it was just a basic function. Like he basically made this makeshift capsule that, I mean, for what he did, it did go pretty far. And I mean, maybe that's what he was trying to show people that, we could use these different materials at a cheaper cost. That's the thing. He was trying to find a way to get people down to the bottom of the ocean for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, I think they
They
cut
were, that
corners.
was one of their goals,
Yeah, I
basically.
think they cut corners is because probably didn't have enough money. They wanted to build the capital to get the proper tools or in materials, but at the same time, they tested it 2 or 3 times before this one. So they were like, okay, we got like what 5 people to give us, a couple, 100K.
250,000.
You know what I'm saying? So we could use that money to buy better stuff. But in the meantime, we have to, take them on a tour. And since
Yeah.
you already did some pre-tries and then everything worked out, let's do it. And then it didn't work out.
Yeah,
So
because
just
one of
to,
the because the Indian guy with his son, he was an investor. So I feel like they probably invited him to
yeah,
show him how awesome it was and he would invest in their, efforts.
yeah.
So it's sad. And then one thing I did hear about that situation that like kind of pained me is that the nephew or the son didn't want to go, but he went because it was Father's Day,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my goodness, that is so crazy. So it's super unfortunate. And like, we can't play with the ocean. Oh, and also like,
Or space.
yeah. And then that kind of brings up the idea of all these privately funded, um, companies that are doing these like things. Like, are they going to start regulating it more now? Like, can they even regulate it? I mean, I'm sure they can, but I think that people will have the argument like Elon Musk that would limit their ability to do research or
Yep.
whatever.
I agree. Yep.
But it's like all these people are going to die. And I mean, I think in previous times, like we don't know how many people died to make an airplane. We don't know how many people died to make a train.
Yeah. I mean, ironically, the Titanic did go down because of cut corners, because people
Yeah.
didn't read the manual, because this and that. So it's like that's a whole big old ship. You
And
know
the
what I
whole
mean?
thing with that, like I was reading about it, like the marketing on that was this is the unsinkable a luxury cruise, and it was so many like affluent people on that cruise or on that ship, and it
Yep.
sunk. and it sunk
Yep.
faster than they thought that it would sink. And like,
What
but
about
they,
the
because they use
Lindenberg? Sorry.
they use makeshift materials. They cut corners a little bit too.
Yeah, remember
So,
that Lindbergh? What was that Lindbergh blimp a long time ago that went down in flames? Was it
oh,
Lindbergh?
the air balloon or
Yeah,
whatever that was. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that went
London.
down. Yeah, but I mean, we have to try these things out, people.
Yeah, like this isn't
People
gonna
are going to
stop.
die. Like, remember the rocket that went not the it wasn't the Challenger, it was
The
the
SpaceX
yeah,
thing.
the rocket that went up a long time ago and killed all those astronauts and never even made it
Oh,
to the space.
yeah, it
I think it was a
happens.
Challenger. Yeah, it happened. So
It happens, and like whether it's regulated or not, like people aren't gonna stop
yeah, that was
exploring.
NASA. So yeah, people are gonna keep trying. Like so,
But I
crazy
think to
stuff.
be responsible, if people who are experts in the field and they're telling you that your makeshift bubble or capsule is not going to make it, like
Right.
you should maybe listen, you
You
know?
might want to prolong the trip. You might want to be okay. Let's do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
yeah, you might want to listen instead of
Yeah,
firing them.
right. That too. Like there was just so many things where this all could have been possibly avoided if they put some other protocols in place and waited and just hold off. Maybe he wanted to go by this certain date or he rushed it for whatever reason, but he should have just maybe gave it another year,
Yep. I mean,
you
look how
know?
many people die in car accidents. I mean, we have to try these out, people. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, maybe listen to somebody who went to school for this instead of firing them or
Like he had passion, the
shutting them down.
CEO, what is it, Stockton Hush or Stockton Rush, I think his name was. Like he had the passion, but
Now you got five bodies on you now.
yeah,
That's on you, partner.
right. And then one guy who goes on these expeditions down below, he was saying that, it's good that when you are having like a submersion or whatever, you should have people in place just in case something goes wrong. Like, the robots, I think they call them remote operating vehicles that found the wreckage. You need to have those in place. Like, just as like there's this one guy, he just gave all the like precautionary things to where they could have possibly survived this. But the thing is too, I don't know if they were going to survive this because it happened within the first like 2 hours that they deployed or whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it happened like immediately. So I
So
don't know.
they could have had all the things in place and it still would have imploded because it wasn't like a properly efficient sub.
Because they were, yeah, because this one Navy admiral or whatever was saying that every time they take their submarines down, they have to check the metal for stress. So it's like a known thing, and they do it all the time. And so I guess just the pressure from the water is really, really, really powerful and crushing. So like they have to check it all the time. And like yeah, it worked the first 3 times, but that might just tell you your carbon fiber is only good for three, three
Right.
exp
It
that's
probably
basic.
probably weakened it and then like you said 2 hours out the carbon was like that's it. I
Done.
can't. I
It's
can't.
like we
Yep.
already did this. We already did this.
Yep.
Like
You should trade me in. You should have got
I, I
something
had
new.
yep, I had 40 hours of carbon left. Good strong
Mm.
carbon or
Yep.
whatever. So it's just amazing. It's unfortunate what happened. And yeah,
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't know. But I don't even know, like I'm not good at these things. I don't know what to say to the families, but
So what's
just
what we learned from this?
what I learned from this is that you don't cut corners. Follow the rules. There's regulations and rules in place for a reason. You know, you might have your own ideas of what you want to do and what done, but you have to listen to other people, especially if they have experience and if they're more wise than you in certain areas. Like, you have to listen, you have to pay attention. You can't cut corners. That's what I got from all this,
I
you
agree.
know?
I also got that we have to show empathy regardless of status and class. And I believe in karma, and I hope nothing happens to your families.
Yeah,
Be good out there.
I know. It's really it's crazy where we are in thought of how we feel about death. Like,
Or
or
other
people.
people's death that we
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. Exactly. It's just kind of like, oh, funny, ha, ha, ha. They're stupid. Rich people, oh well, they could die, you know? And then all these people are like, and then people are like totally just blowing this off and they're saying, oh, well, they're billionaires. What about the migrants, the refugees that all died? Nobody's talking about that. No, you're just only tuned into the shade room. Like, there is information out
Yeah,
here, but
the
it
news is
wasn't
out there.
covered. It was not covered like this, and I'm not totally sure why. But I think mostly because, like we said, status, billionaires,
Well, I
and
don't agree with that, but
you know,
no, I just think it's because of timing. Because last week it was at least
and
news I watched. It was all over.
yeah, and that's the thing too. America is very America first, kind of. And I mean, the other stuff happened in another part of the world, and this kind of happened
Yeah, they're
in
going to
our
Greece.
neighborhood, you know? So America doesn't really focus on other stuff. But then everybody's like, "Oh, what about the refugees?" and da da da. We should be helping them. We should be looking for them and da da da. But then you guys get mad when Biden gives money to Ukraine. So it's like we have to,
You pick and choose your battles.
like, are we helping other people or are we not? Like,
Yeah,
it's confusing.
yeah.
But I do know that people do comment on things that they are passionate about. So it's not necessarily the same people always commenting. It's people who comment are interested in that particular conversation,
We just have
you know?
Twitter, and we know what everybody is thinking, and TikTok for everybody who's crying. So that's the only
And
thing.
and
We just
I jumped on TikTok for like 2 seconds and I all these people, and it's just like, you guys, if you would just read an article, like, you would know all this information. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, because there's all these conspiracy theories and da 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 da, and it's just like, what are you even talking about? They already have the answer to whatever you're thinking. And but these kids are getting a lot of comments and interaction, and it's like, you guys are just all like trying to figure it out and it's already figured out, but you're just making videos to just be on TikTok, which is weird
right.
to me. Like, it's just so much misinformation, and I'm just, it's entertainment. TikTok is straight up entertainment. It's, you can't really take everything with a grain of salt over there, especially it's run by little children. Woo. But so yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
that. What were we about to say?
no, I was gonna say I was copying you. I copied
Yeah,
you.
but yeah, be easy.
Be easy.
Just breathe and have compassion for others' ills.
You know.
So, okay, talk to you later. Bye.